I bet he was thinking we didn't even play no game yesterday. I'm sure Pablo gonna stop, making jokes about me. But oh no, he's back.
Oh, you think the Peterman's concerned about this side of the table, Bomani?
I mean, I'm just saying, you always got jokes to make about the Peterman. You're the one who said Peterman does as Peterman can. That's you.
That is me. It is also you, though.
I didn't say that ever.
Wait, are you trying to hand me the mantle of the Peterman?
I'm just saying.
Are you feeling bad for the Peterman?
No, I would understand if the Peterman was tired of you bullying him. That's all.
But not you.
No. I'd like to be bullied by me.
Well, I got bad news for the Peterman coming up later, but our first name, Bo, is Aaron Rodgers. Because the quarterback led the Packers to game-tying and game-winning drives over the Niners, throwing for 425 yards in all. Of course, it came against C.J. Beathard and the Niners, so are you still convinced the Packers can contend for a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and that team?
I'm sorry, did you say still?
That is okay.
When did I say that in the first place that they could contend?
Can they at all?
Okay, here's what they can do. They can probably make the playoffs, right? Now, in theory, that makes you a contender because Minnesota doesn't look great over there. Who else is going to wind up winning that division? But, man, it is Aaron Rodgers against the world, a one-legged Aaron Rodgers against the world.
Big break.
Because that defense is the wackest that they got out there. I want to give you the names of the two-twos for the 49ers that were gashing them on the ground. I can only spell one of them. I don't even know how to say it, and I ain't never heard of the other dude in my life. His name, Breda? Matt Breda.
Shout out to whoever your last name is actually pronounced. I apologize if I'm puzzled that, but you're right about Aaron Rodgers versus the world. This reminds me of the fact that in Ian O'Connor's book about Brady and the Patriots, Brady apparently told an NFL coach that if Aaron Rodgers was in our offense, he'd throw for 7,000 yards. And these games are the games that remind me that Aaron Rodgers could probably do that. And towards the end of this game, Bo, the difference was Aaron Rodgers had the offense in his own hands, right? He had been complaining about McCarthy, complaining about the play calling, perhaps jealous of the Kyle Shanahan across the way at the other sideline, of the Sean McVays, of the Andy Reids, of the Belichicks. He got to run his team at the very end all to himself, and he was transcendent.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that when you talk about him being in Belichick's or the Patriots offense, what if he played with Shanahan? Because what is amazing about Shanahan, dudes like your man, was it Usage? Is that how you say it?
Juszczyk.
It's Juszczyk. I imagine they sent y'all an email about that. That dude's just running down the field wide open.
That's right.
It's not as though he is turned into some great receiver. He is in a scheme that gets him open. Aaron Rodgers seems to have to get his dudes open. If they can't do it for themselves, he's got to be the one to do it. But none of it comes down to the scheme. That plus a bad defense, how long are they going to keep doing this?
Well, the good news for the Packers and those who want them to keep doing it are that the teams that are clearly better than them in the NFC, we're looking at the Rams, obviously, and then the Saints, and then it gets to the muck, where a bunch of teams maybe
Are you sure? Are you sure? Like, I feel pretty confident saying Philadelphia is better than them. Like, I mean, I don't think they're good because they have Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Next name, Odell Beckham. Giants owner John Mara had some words for Odell at today's owners meeting, saying, quote, "I wish he would create the headlines by his play on the field. I think he needs to do a little more playing and a little less talking." Pablo, if you were Odell, how would you feel hearing this?
I would understand Mr. Mara's concerns, Bomani. I understand that the Giants have standards of excellence set forth over the years, and in no way am I, Odell Beckham Jr., living up to the mantle handed to me by Lawrence Taylor. It's just not, I mean, who can be as great a character as that man is behaviorally off the field? I mean, it is truly understandable for me, OBJ, to, see where my owner is coming from.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do in this circumstance if I was Odell, because you can't give your boss the bird.
You can't.
Right? And since you can't give your boss the bird, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. So he says here, I wish he would create the headlines by his play on the field. They have a dude right now on their team who is creating lots of headlines with the play on the field. And that person is Eli Manning. And those headlines are bad. Now, this is what he had to say about Eli Manning. We still believe in him. I know he's the punching bag right now, but a lot of guys need to play better when you're 1-5. It's not just him. So when you are asked about Odell Beckham, we are only going to talk about him. When you are talking about your bad quarterback that you have set your franchise back by trying to protect his feelings, now you want to talk about everybody else? All right, dude, I see you.
I do understand, though, that, the offensive line is bad. Eli Manning maybe is, under duress a lot of the time. But what's interesting about the feelings you mentioned is that John Mara had apparently signed off originally on Geno Smith replacing Eli Manning. And then the blowback came, and now everyone's feelings seem to be at stake. And he realized, I am not touching that issue anymore. That seems to be more trouble than it was worth for me, John Mara.
Yeah, but he could touch it. He didn't have, I mean, there's a big gap between benching and our quarterback needs to play better. So when you talk about I want Odell to play better, make headlines with his play, do you think that the numbers Odell is not putting up is because Odell isn't good?
No.
Right?
No.
There are clearly other factors that come into play there. It's just other factors don't matter when you talk about Odell. When you want to throw on your cape and try to protect old Eli Manning, all of a sudden context. It's this amazing thing that all of us understand and have a grip on. When you want to throw on your cape for this dude, and they're setting back the team with this. This is not just simply about keeping a guy too long. It's the fact that there's nobody behind him that can possibly take his job.
Yeah, these are not comments that line up with a man who has a good sense of football reasons. And Odell Beckham Jr., fantastic receiver, also a fantastic red herring. The Philadelphia 76ers is the next name. The NBA regular season tips off tonight with the Sixers playing the Celtics. So, Bo, do you think the Sixers have a legit chance to overtake the Celtics as best in the East?
I will definitively say maybe. It's a definitive maybe.
That is very definitive.
The thing that's bizarre about the Sixers is they won their 50 games last year. They made that jump. And normally when you get a collection of young players like that, this would be the season that we expect them to make a leap.
Yep.
Except we have no idea what to expect from Markelle Fultz. And we learned by the end of last year, yes, it does matter that Ben Simmons refuses to shoot. We don't know if he will shoot, let alone whether he can shoot. So, yes, are they a legit contender to take on the Celtics? One would think, but they have so many unanswered questions in a way that feels strange.
You know that I am a licensed pastor in the church of the Sixers. We went to Sixers-Celtics playoff games. You heard me curse and fire many people on this organization, and it is because this organization is hinged on a Ben Simmons, who we don't know if he can shoot, and a Markelle Fultz, and we don't know if he is close to shooting. Now, the good news for the Sixers team is that Markelle Fultz has been declared the starting shooting guard. Now, we have to figure out if that is done to bolster his ceiling.
Wait. He's the shooting guard?
Oh, he's the shooting guard. Simmons is playing point.
The dude that was scared to shoot?
We are behind Markelle Fultz as the shooting guard per Brett Brown. So, Bo, this is where the Sixers seem to be going, you know, maybe not all in, but a toe in on Markelle Fultz. And if that is a bet that pays off, this is a different team, but I have no faith in that
But
yet.
the other thing also, Joel Embiid is not a guy, what we learned in that Celtics series.
Al Horford.
He can't put you on his back in that way. That day may come, but that day was not the last time we saw him.
It was disgusting.
All right, next name is Vontaze Burfict. Bengals linebackers under league review for delivering an elbow to Antonio Brown's head on Sunday, and the Steelers are speaking out. Offensive lineman Marcus Gilbert said, quote, a guy like that going out there to intentionally try to hurt people, he should be suspended for that hit. Now, Pablo, should Vontaze Burfict be suspended for this hit? Get a look at this. There's the, that would be the elbow to the back of the head for literally no good reason. Now, it looks like he was trying to get him in the shoulder and then went up to head because it looked like he hit him there first. But what do you have?
Yeah, I would suspend him, and it's because we have a history of violence with Vontaze Burfict. And notably, after this play, which, you know, he could say he was trying to angle it one way or the other, whatever. But after this play, he goes to the line of scrimmage and points at Juju Smith-Schuster and says, you're next. And now we know from people who remember Vontaze back at Arizona State, he likes to point at people. He likes to threaten the Matt Barkleys of the world. That's what he does. But when he says, you're next, after he concusses, apparently, a guy that he'd concussed before in 2017, this guy seems to be wiling out in ways that are not supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is who he is. Like, the thing about him, when people look at, say, Marvin Lewis, and that's a play from the playoffs, when people talk about, say, Marvin Lewis, they're like, why don't you get that guy under control? That's not how that works with him. Like, they made the deal that they were going to have the great maniac linebacker. He is great only if he is allowed to be a maniac. But he can't keep doing it. Like, I think it's been established that he cannot continue to do this. He is unlikely to be suspended for this one. He will probably wind up being fined, but I am amazed at the idea that he walks out there every day knowing that people are looking at him on every single play, and he's just like, it's what I do.
And Juju Smith-Schuster said, you know, this was the most physical game I've ever played, and that's what the Bengals wanted from him. this isn't a bug, it is the feature of the Vontae's Perfect program. And so if you're trying to change him, yeah, maybe the wide receivers should form a union and say all those quarterbacks are being protected. How about us? How about the guys over the middle getting helmets to our dome?
I am shocked, though, that this is not one that'll get him suspended. The elbow to the back of the head.
How can it not be?
High Noon is brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
6 months ago, I moved here to become a cop.
We got some new blood this morning. Some pushing the expiration date.
Body cam test? Officer Nolan, yippee-ki-yay.
What are you doing? Check.
I hate what you represent. A walking midlife crisis.
Sergeant Gray does not appear to be a fan of my presence.
Because you're old as hell?
I became a cop to help people, not kill them.
The Rookie premieres tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Golden Corral's Beef Lovers Banquet. It's our all-new bacon wrapped sirloin filet, smoked beef brisket, portobello top sirloin, and golden delicious shrimp. The Beef Lovers Banquet. Golden Corral, your choice. Rules.
There's some